What will the net impact on e-commerce be?
As on today, yes, they have provided a clarity in terms of the uniformity of e-commerce taxation across different regions and different states around, which is currently not there. But at the same time, the kind of mechanism they have put into the draft law in terms of asking the aggregator to make himself accountable for various goods that are traded through his platform, deduct 1% tax, TCS, before he makes a payment to the supplier going forward. All these are going to add up to the e-commerce industry, and I'm sure the way these companies have structured their business, it would be in a way possible to find out some ways around. Otherwise, this can become a really tedious task for the e-commerce player, wherein there are thousands and 10,000s of vendors on their portal. It would be really difficult task to manage all of them and give such kind of a record to the government. So,
okay, fair enough. Badri, can you sort of describe for us very simply what impact you think this will have on the e-commerce business in India if this goes through and is enacted as it is in the draft law?
Right. Whenever there is a separate chapter for a particular industry, generally means the industry is very successful and is going to go through a troubled time. There's only two things that happen after that. Okay, you're successful, and now you're going to be troubled. Only two things. Okay. So.
I like how you say that with a straight face, but anyways, continue, yes.
So the issue is going to be that I believe that this taxing of digital industry is probably going to be the most difficult and dangerous industry, because we may think that these industries are doing very well, but they are on wafer thin margins.
Correct.
And their costing, their valuation, everything is dependent on being able to go up and down on a very small margin. And considering the way they are discounting, the way the schemes work, there's a lot of other things, the trade promotion schemes and so on and so forth. I believe putting more stress on this nascent industry in India is going to be a problem. There are going to be net impact in the cost.
Exactly what will they have to do as a result of this, the way this draft law is worded? Besides the point that Jigar made, that they will have to deduct, I think, 1% tax that you said on all payments made to all vendors, and they could be dealing with hundreds of thousands of vendors.
Hundreds of thousands of vendors. Many of them will be below the threshold. Right. Many of them may not have to pay any taxes.
Is it just about more paperwork, more compliance, or do you think there will be a direct impact on costs as well, because they will be actually paying out more tax than they do under the current regime?
I believe, one, there will be more taxes that they will pay out under the new regime.
Second, why is that? Explain that to me.
The reason is because today, a lot of the e-commerce players, the way they are structured, they're either in the form of an agent model, or like a courier model, or any other marketplace model, or a discount model, or there are various models in this. They're really looking at having to pay taxes on a small percentage of their portion, rather than having to collect taxes at 1% of the total supply of the goods, entire supply of the goods. And more importantly, the person who's ultimately selling through their system may not actually have to pay any taxes, which means there will be a refund scheme. They'll have to pay in which you'll have to.
So then it becomes a cash flow problem as well, right?
This, according to me, more than an impact on the cash, which obviously will have an impact, it's also to try and force people who are already on the e-commerce platform to register. It's a backdoor way of complying a huge number of people through this marketplace model, because then you have to give information. But the problem for them is collecting information about all of these people, keeping track of it. The kind of volumes that you're looking at through this is just tremendous. Okay. So it's really going to have an impact on the way they're going to do business, according to me.